It's one of those things. If you can't get it, but it's helping you, and you know it helps you, and I know it's helping you, would it be ethical and moral of me as a physician to deny you that? I mean, how on earth could I do that? I mean, it's just wrong even for me to say that. Ethically and morally, I took an oath to do everything I can to take care of you. You found something that may not be mainstream, but it's helping you be operational. And I'm going to sit back and say, no, it's federally illegal, and, start, reading you the Riot Act and the law. I'm a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not here. I'm not the police. I'm here to advocate for what's helping and working for you. That's why I'm here.
Unfortunately, one way that people are navigating the problem with this patchwork of state regulatory laws and programs, and they're always changing and evolving and so forth. One of the ways some people deal with this is simply to migrate to another state that has a better cannabis program. And of course, this isn't a realistic or sustainable option for most people. And so what I know people are doing is traveling to states where it's legal, either setting up a temporary residence there so they can be a part of the program, or working with a friend who might be bending or breaking the rules and accessing the program for them, giving them medicine, and then they're illegally transporting it home. So there's real risk involved in this, and you have to put that risk on the table and compare it with the risk of not having any cannabis treatment. And for some really desperate patients, there's no question about it. It's worth the risk. The other thing to do, which is a much slower process, but very effective, is to get involved, right? So this means start educating people, become an expert yourself, start talking to your neighbors, to your family, to your colleagues at work, start talking to your local Congress people and to your federal Congress people, and letting them know what you think. Sometimes it takes a lot of repetition, but over time that has an effect. And this is one way that we can help everyone else who's having the same problem as you, is to make change.
That got us involved with Dr. Sulak in fighting for plant rights at the state level, and how that has affected our lives is got us involved with lobbying, with understanding how legislation works, and the whole process of protecting this as a medicine, and the importance of what we have in our hands as a medicine. And it seems as if that the other side of the fence, the pharmaceutical side of the fence, really doesn't like what we're doing.
John Malanka with the Sacred Plant. We're here in Washington, D.C. with Steph Shearer, founder of Americans for Safe Access. So thank you, Steph, for jumping off a plane from Europe and being with us here today.
I was not a cannabis advocate at all. I actually am a medical cannabis patient, and that's what brought me into the movement. In 2000, I had an injury that I didn't recover from, and it's when I was diagnosed with a condition called dystonia. And it's an inflammation disorder, and I had to take quite a bit of anti-inflammatories, as well as pain medications, and my kidneys started failing. Side effects of the medication, not because of the illness. And my doctor and I, we tried all sorts of combinations of anti-inflammatories. And for my condition, without anti-inflammatories in my system, my body seizes up. So it's not really an option of whether or not I can, I take them. So one day, my doctor closed the door behind him and asked me if I smoke pot. And I told him no, and he asked me if I knew where to get some. And I just stared at him and I said, "Am I your youngest patient?" Because I thought he was trying to score weed from me. I had no idea why this was being brought up. And about that time, a friend of mine told me about these dispensaries in the Bay Area. And I called Berkeley Patients Group and asked them if I could come visit them. They said I just needed a recommendation from my doctor and to fax it ahead of time so they could verify it was really come from my doctor, and that I could come. So that experience was pretty life-changing. I didn't really know the difference between the different strains before that visit. I didn't know that you could take cannabis in other ways than just smoking it. And most excitingly, I had someone who would talk to me about what products I was about to buy. And it was a very dignified experience. I had a political consulting firm in San Diego, and I decided just to move it up to the Bay Area. It's a pretty big life change to move from San Diego to the Bay Area. And I was there for 2 months, and then there was a federal raid on one of the dispensaries in San Francisco. And it was actually Ed Rosenthal's bust. And that's when I realized that this was federally illegal, because it felt very legal, to go into one of these facilities. And at that time, that's when I realized that the people running the dispensaries were actually committing federal civil disobediences every day to provide people like me medicine. And I was just so moved and so honored, that people were taking this risk every day. And the truth is, today, people are still taking that risk.